When trying to understand the duty of care, which a licensed establishment owes to a patron, one must firstly ask, to what extent do licensees need to protect patrons from potential harm? Whilst there are various risks that may arise in a licensed premise, for example, contaminated glasses and spills on the ground, to list a few, we here at Association of Licensed Venues want to showcase the state of liability in regards to the provision of crowd controlling services by licensed venues. When talking about this specific role of licensed venues, through the lens of the tort of negligence, there are hypothetically 3 different possible duties of care owed to the patrons. Those duties being: 1. Protecting the patron from the actions of third parties by means of intervention of crowd controllers. 2. Protecting the patron from the actions of crowd controllers or employees that are vicariously liable. 3. Protecting the patron from the consequences of their own actions in an intoxicated state. With that being said, our focus in this presentation is to highlight the first and second type of duties, as the third is seen by the courts to be an issue of personal responsibility. This is because the courts on various occasions have highlighted that, outside exceptional cases, licensees do not owe a general duty of care to customers to monitor them and protect them from the consequences of alcohol consumption. Quite often in these cases, where it is seen to be the injured party's own fault for the intoxicated-related injury, the courts are quite willing to discharge the licensee of liability and negligence. Furthermore, Section 46(1) of the CL explicitly states that a person is not owed a duty of care merely because the person is intoxicated. Nor does intoxication otherwise affect the standard of care owed to the person. The first and second types of duties previously listed can be understood in 2 different ways. The first duty covers circumstances where a venue may be held negligent by failing to provide active intervention in violent situation, whereas the second type of duty covers situations where there is a passive approval by management for intentional torts. This creates vicarious liability of the intentional torts conducted, or might be conducted, by their crowd controllers and general staff. As these duties relate directly to the provision of security, it would be prudent to firstly examine the legislative requirements imposed on licensed venues, in relation to crowd controllers. When talking specifically about licensed venues in the Brisbane metropolitan area, whose principal activity is the sale of alcohol, it is a condition of license that a licensed premise must, at a minimum, ensure that they have the required number of crowd controllers in maintaining order in and around the licensed premises during hours off trading beyond 1 a.m. The required number of crowd controllers can be found under Section 37C of the Liquor Regulation Act 2002. Outside of the Brisbane City Council area, licensees must comply with security requirements as per the conditions of their individual licenses. Now on to our main focus of negligence. Like previously mentioned, we wish to showcase 2 possible negligent activities that a licensed venue may be liable for.